Clark County is pushing forward to give licenses to short-term rentals, but a group of homeowners is fighting back, taking their case to the Nevada Supreme Court. Here's how we got here. Last June, Clark County passed its ordinance for short-term rentals. But in August, some rental owners filed a lawsuit. In February, a district court ruled the ordinance can mostly stand, but they called some parts unconstitutionally vague. March 13th, the group appealed to the Nevada Supreme Court. Tuesday, Clark County will take steps to tweak the ordinance per the judge's orders. Tonight, owners say changes are not enough.
All the property owners are fired up. They have had enough, and they are willing to come together to support this fight.
The Greater Las Vegas Short-Term Rental Association now represents 900 property owners. They're appealing to Nevada's highest court to stop Clark County's ordinance on short-term rentals, which they call government overreach.
We're hoping that either the state will step in and do the right thing. Most people that are doing short-term rentals are doing it to make ends meet. You have senior citizens on a fixed income. You have people who have disabilities who cannot work.
Jackie Flores argues there should be no limits on how many homeowners can run a vacation rental. Out of more than 10,000 illegal short-term rentals across the state, the county will hold a lottery for 2,800 prospective licenses. After a court ruling, the short-term rules that can stay include a minimum 2-night stay, 2 people per bedroom and up to 10 people per property, a ban on parties, $1,000 a day fine for illegal operations. What will change? Random county inspections. The county could change it to a 48-hour notice.
Created regulations that make criminals out of law-abiding citizens.
Jackie says many homeowners have been scared off by these restrictions and this part of county code. Each homeowner understands the rules under the penalty of perjury. Clark County sent us this statement. Clark County has notified applicants that we will not be enforcing under the perjury of law language in the pre-application, reflective of the court's order. Clark County is working through possible solutions, including additional legal action.
We feel violate a lot of people's constitutional protections.
On March 29th, that's when the lottery drawing for prospective licenses will take place. April 4th, there's going to be a public hearing on Clark County's changes on the short-term rental ordinance. If you'd like to read the changes, we have the documents on our website on fox5vegas.com.